Hello to all my beautiful patrons. You guys may have noticed that I have only made one patron proper video this month. And I wanted to kind of address why and what my plans are going forward and how this Patreon account might evolve in the future. Now, a lot of you guys follow pretty much everything I do, so you probably are kind of aware of what's going on with my living situation and my content going forward, which is that in about 2.5 weeks, I'm going to be moving my editor, the Devu, into my house. Me and my brother are going to be building a set in my house and just generally turning my house into basically a YouTube video making paradise. My parents are moving out, getting a different place, and leaving the house to me and my brothers, as well as our friends, to rent out. So, yeah, we're basically going to flip this house into something that we can use for our videos. Now, when it comes to my main content, like, for me, writing analytical videos is what I'm, like, passionate about. But right now, it's also my job. And I feel like there's a little bit of a conflict of interest for me in what kind of videos I want to make and what kind of videos I feel like I can make in order for them to be successful. Like, the stuff that I do when I have these big, broad concept videos that everyone immediately gets, like, like, turn your brain off, or how to recognize a terrible anime. Like, those are things that everyone can relate to, and they make for great, like, views, stat count, buffs. Like, they get a ton of views, everyone loves them, and I usually gain a lot of patrons from them. But I'm not necessarily as passionate about writing that kind of thing right now. I would really like to be able to change gears and to start talking about more specific shows, specific scenes, just specific stuff. Like, I want to get into shows into the nitty-gritty. Some of those, like, series that I started earlier this year where it was, like, cool character designs or cool directing tricks and stuff like that, I'd love to do more stuff like that. And to not have to necessarily make it quick and breezy and clickbaity, but to make it, fully fleshed out and spend 2 hours talking about a character winking for 1 second in a show. Like the crazy shit that I get up to. And people do tend to like that stuff. But, like, what I've come to realize over time is that the amount of effort that it takes to make a video does not correlate to either A, how interesting that video is, nor B, how many people will watch that video. People, like, have a fairly low threshold for, well, I won't say a low threshold. People have a moderate threshold for quality as long as what you're talking about is interesting and engaging. A video like Turn Your Brain Off, initially it gets so many views because it has a great thumbnail and a great title. And then when you click the video, it also proves itself to be interesting. Now, if I had made that exact same video, but it wasn't necessarily something that I wrote and we, edited to the full extent that we did, but it was more of like a semi-scripted sort of vlog that had interspersed anime clips in it, I don't think it would have been any less successful, at least not to such a degree that it would be like a huge detriment to have done it that way. And if I was able to make videos of that nature in that way, then that would free me up. Like, if that was my job, was to make simpler videos, then my writing, the thing I'm passionate about, I can do whatever I want with it. So, I've gotten really into vlogging. I've gotten really into doing all these quick, easy videos that are fun to do because I can, get my thoughts out there really quickly and about a vast variety of subjects without having every single one of them have to be an essay that I wrote that then went through a week of editing to put out, Now, bear in mind that once Devu moves in with me, it'll actually be even easier to edit our main videos because Devu edits super fast, and, like, a lot of the holdup for us is just his terrible internet connection, where it'll be, like, days, or, like, sometimes he'll have to render a video all day and then upload it all day, and so, like, even the really high-quality stuff will come out faster once he moves in. But, like, what I want to do is be able to find a way to make my job not my passion, necessarily. That they kind of are concentric circles. Like, I love doing vlogs. I love doing this simple content. And if I can find a way to elevate it just enough that it can be as interesting and as well-liked as my mainline videos, then that would be excellent, because that would make that my job. If you want to see an example of what I'm trying to do and how I'm going to get there, the Digibros Discuss Berserk versus Berserk video is the perfect example. That video, and that one was longer than I even intended for it to be, but it was just a really well-presented vlog that was almost really a podcast, like a vlog podcast that had interspersed clips. It was very edited, but not to the extent that like a mainline video would be. But that video had 120,000 views, something like that. It got as many views as like a main video would. It was as well praised as a main video would have been. I don't think for most people it was any less valuable than some of my mainline content. You know, there's probably some people who liked that more than like the Sakamoto video or something, or even maybe the Cabaneri review. You know, like, it had such a broad appeal because it was about a topical subject, you know, presented in an interesting way. And so I want that to be my job. I want to be able to put out videos like that and to make enough money doing that, that when I want to write something, it could be anything. You know, I've talked about this for a long time, that if my Patreon ever got up to a certain amount, I'd be able to take on my dream projects. Well, it's at that amount now, where, like, the reason there's only been one video this month is that I actually made enough money off of that video that I didn't have to make another one. It made, like, over $1,000 on Patreon, and then it was fairly successful on YouTube. It didn't make, like, a crazy amount of money or anything, but, like, it's, you know, one video like that's very mainstream appealing, that gets that amount of attention, is enough to, like, sustain me so that if I want to work on something crazy, I have the time. You know, if I want to launch into some crazy-ass project. And so what I'm trying to do once Devu moves in is set it up so that we can pump out, like, a consistent level of, like, high quality vlogs. Like, whereas right now I'm putting out these very, like, low quality, low light vlogs, like, every single day. Instead, it would be like me and Devu putting out really amazing, highly edited vlogs every other day, and then on the other day I'd also still be putting out these vlogs, because nothing's gonna stop me putting out these vlogs at the same time on this channel, on Digibro After Dark, which is where this is hosted. I know you're probably watching it on Patreon. So yeah, like, I want there to be both the vlogs that I like doing just because they're fucking weird and fun and I can do whatever I want. And then I also want there to be this, like, mainline vlogging style where, like, I think you guys will like these videos. You know, I'm not talking about making some huge step down in quality of the points I'm going to make in my videos. They're still going to be great analytical videos. As you can probably tell, I've gotten pretty good at speaking unscripted, and I can only get better with more practice. And, you know, I'm going to have the Devu around, who will be able to edit things immediately after I finish working on them. You know, we can turn off the camera, throw the files on a computer, edit that shit in, like, 2 hours. That's what I did with the Berserk video. It was like me and Victor filmed it, I immediately edited it, and within a window of that night, it was out. Now, I don't necessarily think that kind of video is worth, like, patroning. Especially not by itself. And depending on how the mainline videos go, like, if it becomes where I'm only doing one every month because it's, like, so big and detailed, then it's a possibility that I would rather switch to a once-a-week patron schedule. So, like, basically, this is something that some of the other people I'm friends with, like Endless Jess and Tommy Oliver, do, where, like, once a week they'll just patron a whole bunch of their content, basically like what I've been doing with the vlogs, where once every couple of months I patron every vlog I made in that span of time. So it might switch to a once a week schedule for patronage, and I think that'll work really well because you'll probably get, like, a fuckload of pretty fucking good videos every month. Like, I think some people would probably be willing to just patron all of them. I mean, I don't think I need that much money. Like, at the amount I'm making on Patreon, marking it 4 times a month is more than enough. And if these videos become successful, then I'll also be making enough money through YouTube that it will that it'll be like, the Patreon will not even be as important anymore. If I have videos that are coming out every other day and every single one of them is successful, that would be unbelievable. Of course, we don't know if all this is going to work. There's no way of really knowing until we try. If it all blows up and nobody likes it and everyone's like, go back to just doing however many videos you can get out in a month in your normal style, then fine. But what I'm really excited about is being able to put out stuff that can be even more frequent than it is and still high quality, and then be able to just, with my passion for writing, cover the most out there subjects, because that's what I've always wanted. I'm not really as into covering all this mainstream stuff like I've been doing, like where, for me it's so beneficial to cover just the popular stuff that it's hard to justify doing something else. It's not that it's not fun to do that stuff. It is fun to talk about those shows, and that's why I keep doing it, because it's both fun and makes me a shit ton of money and, gets more attention to the channel. But, if I could have, instead of writing a video about Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress and editing it, if I could do that in, a day, and everyone gets to hear my thoughts on Cabaneri in a well-made video, and then I don't have to worry about writing that and can instead focus on the other big project I'm working on, that would be ideal. So yeah, I want the vlogging to become like a job, like something I do for 7 hours out of every day, 5 days a week. And then in my off time, I can actually focus on the stuff I'm really passionate about, which is out there stances on anime. I've probably repeated myself 5 times now. Additionally, the reason this is only for patrons is that this is a very meta vlog. I kind of hate doing a lot of meta stuff and talking a lot about my plans for the future, because I'd rather that they just happen and you all get to see how cool it is. But I feel like it's a little weird to keep you all in the dark for such a long time when I've got that only one video coming out all month. And for anyone who doesn't already know about my plans with the Devoo, I also made at least one other meta video earlier this month that I didn't release at all. I'm gonna put it in the unreleased videos archive. So anyone who's a $3 patron or more, go there and you can see the other meta video I did that's fairly long, where I go into a lot of the same things I just said, but in a more direct and practical sense, as well as more of a philosophical sense. So anyways, that's it. Hope you'll enjoy all the stuff I've got in store, because I think it's going to be awesome.